Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reverse the Verse. Wave, wave, wave.
I always wave with the wrong hand.
Yeah, you can't see.
But I don't correct it.
Yeah, you can see. He waves with this hand.
I'm gonna own it.
Yeah, you're gonna own it. Well, it's better than finger guns, I suppose.
It's great.
Welcome to Reverse the Verse. It is Friday, September 11th, 2015. I'm your host, Community Manager Jared Huckabee. To my right is the Director of Community Engagement and Online Strategy and Spaceships and Finger Guns, Mr. Ben Lesnick.
Hooray.
Directly behind us is our videographer extraordinaire, Mr. Thomas Hennessy. Next to him is our editor. What's one less than extraordinaire?
One less or one more?
Our editor, Mr. Justin Chambers, and in the back with the hair down today and a fancy dress. What's going
You
on?
are looking extra pink today.
What's going on? That's our associate marketing producer, Ms. Alyssa Del Hotel.
Show these guys how it's done.
Say hi, Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa.
We've added. Can we turn off the AC?
AC.
Yes. We've added a number of microphones in our attempt to make things easier to hear, but it does triple the amount of air conditioner noise. Isn't the guy who doesn't know how to do it?
Yeah.
There's microphones everywhere.
Yeah.
Here.
I got this guy. Okay.
Heavy environment.
So we're going to turn the AC off here. It'll be off in a minute, and hopefully you can hear us much better from now on.
Hooray!
So, I forgot to turn the music off. Gosh darn it. No, there's always something.
Extra epic.
There's
Yeah.
always something.
Jerry's
All right.
friend was getting rid of these, and I was getting rid of them for like $35. So they fit. They're mine now. Yay.
The laces aren't enough.
They are.
You need more. You need more
They
laces.
need more laces.
Alyssa needs more laces.
Need more shoes.
Confirmed.
And to the 7 users out there who are thinking of submitting CS tickets asking to buy Alyssa's shoes,
You may not.
please do not.
Nope.
She won't sell them. They're not for sale.
So, Ben, week in review. What did you do this week?
Well, this has been a. When was I? I haven't been on the show in 2 weeks. I went to Dragon Con over the weekend. Spread the gospel there. Talked Star Citizen. I was on 3 panels. One was the big Star Citizen Q&A where we showed off the Endeavor. It's really cool. We're showing something like that to a live audience and seeing the reaction. Met all sorts of backers. Batgirl was there. Years 100. Dozens and dozens of other people. I walked around the convention with a pocket full of constellation pins, handing them out. It was a lot of fun. If I met you out there, it was great. Thank you for taking time to talk to a large, sweaty man. It's very warm in Atlanta, and you do a lot of walking at Dragon Con. I had a little bit of time at the con myself. I met the 2 astronauts from 2001. I got them to autograph a picture.
And Jared was very jealous.
And I did some shopping. I got Ellie some perfume or something.
And a weird rabbit thing?
A weird ride. Yeah, no, it was a llama.
Llama.
And a rubber caterpillar, I think. All the normal things a husband brings back for their wife trip. I was on a panel about they had me on a panel at 10 a.m. on Sunday, which was like, who shows up for a 10 a.m. Sunday panel? Everyone's going to be hungover, but there were actually a couple of people there. We talked about I don't remember. So community management. Social media outreach and strategy and all that. And then I was at another panel, the last panel of Sunday, which was about free-to-play games, which of course we are not. So I'm not sure how I wound up on that one, but it was a lot of fun. Cool sitting next to other industry folks who take me seriously for some reason. Got home. I left the hotel at 4 a.m. Monday morning, so I could have a little bit of a Labor Day. Got here, flew back in time, and just Star Wars with my wife. Of course, Force Friday was after we were last on TV. We did Force Friday last week too. We bought some, wonderful desk trash, and over the last week we've continued to buy additional quantities of desk trash, especially after discovering there's a Disney store here on the promenade, and that they produce massive quantities of die-cast metal spaceships. So none of us have any money anymore, but we have a lot of toy
Except
spaceships.
today is payday,
They-
so the desk trash that we had not previously picked up, the ones we had to triage, were pre-ordered this morning. Should be arriving Amazon Prime.
And then the actual week, it's been a pretty quiet week actually. We putting the finishing touches on the community hub. Community hub.
We're in the community hole.
Community hole. We're making the community hub, which should be later today, I
Yep.
believe. And also the issue council, which is going to help QA quite a bit. Also later today, we're thinking. Is that right?
Yep, we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. What else was this week? We had a fantastic ATV, I thought. Sandy and I. Oh yeah, Sandy was with me at Dragon Con, and so Comic Con. If you've been to Comic Con, it's nerdy, but it's also a little bit corporate. The studios go there to sell their projects. The big stores go and sell other things. Dragon Con is the hardest of the hardcore sci-fi fantasy geeks. The people who are 65 and still speaking Klingon is the example I'm giving. So I thought she would
Explode?
be terrified of who our supporters really are. But no, she was totally into it. She's already talking about going back next year. So it was really cool to see the con through her eyes. We had a great time. And then we got back on Tuesday night. We shot ATV Tuesday night, Tuesday at 8, just because of our schedules. And I thought our chemistry was just really on. I think it came across that we have as much fun as we usually do. So I was really proud of ATV this week. Jim Martin was in here yesterday. We did the final review of the. We occasionally bring the concept artist, outside concept artists in to do a review of a new ship. So we kind of did our final. Here's the last stretch for the Endeavor. Rendering out, designing the different pods, making some changes to the ship at the front. We wanted to clearly detach so it can be like an armed explorer. I brought in Jim Martin designed every single spaceship you can imagine from the 1990s, but included among them the USS Defiant from Deep Space Nine. So I brought in my Defiant-shaped CD player to have him sign, and after my business meeting telling him how I thought spaceships should look, I got to nerd out. And, oh yeah, it's over there, I think.
On the box. On the floor.
No, I think it's on the table.
Oh,
It's on the
it's on the box.
Which box?
No, it's
gone off the
on
rails.
On the red bag of keyboards, that's over there.
This thing?
Nope. Yep.
I was like,
Yeah, so this is a product that actually exists from the 90s. It's a Walkman that's shaped like the Defiant. In fact, give me that box, because that box is pretty funny.
What I asked you?
I thought you said a box. I was like,
Yeah. So the thing about this box is, look at the product shot they have on the back here. Here is a woman at the beach with her spaceship-shaped CD player. I don't think this has ever happened. Anyway, that exists. And we got to talking afterwards. Jared was there, and he brought up Starship Troopers because we knew that Jim had done both the drop ships and the Roger Young, all the ships in that movie. And I was like, "Oh, I'm a Starship Troopers fan. I got the tattoo." Showed him this, and he was like, "Oh, I designed that." So I inadvertently have been working with the guy who designed my tattoo for the last 3 years. So. There we go.
Pretty amazing.
So it's been a fun week here at Cloud Imperium.
Hi, Chelsea.
Hello, Chelsea.
Hello, Chelsea.
I do indeed have my coffee. It is necessary for me to function.
All right. Thomas,
Yes, sir.
top that. What'd you do this week?
Top
I got
that.
my beat easy.
Anybody? No, no
What
one's
did I
watching
do this
Teen
week? I
Witch?
did buy some Star Wars
Alright.
toys at the Disney store with you guys. Not nearly as many as Ben. I'm still kind of easing my way into it. Along with building my vintage Shadows of the Empire figure collection on eBay, I did get a few of those in the mail last night. So
He's being modest, but I think it's pretty clear that we've broken Thomas Hennessy. 'Cause he came here, he was this cool music film guy with
Nice.
artistic intentions, and I think we've like made it okay for him to be the.
Come out. It's my
Yeah.
it's like it's an embrace who you are. So, we did some cool filming stuff this week. We did the piece with Matt Sherman. People seem to like the little update on the E-War thing. That's kind of cool. And next week we got a witch glitch coming out. People have been asking for that and asking for that and asking
Totally
for that.
revamped.
Yeah, turns out with the launch of a giant module like the social module, the QA guys were busy working. So
Figured.
it's taken a while to get another witch glitch, but
Yes, but yeah, that's kind of it's been pretty easy. It's not been an easy week. This week has been crazy because the schedule got all messed up. We filmed the hosting part of ATV at like 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night. We usually film at like 9:30 in the morning. So my whole routine has been a little off. So I need to kind of reset and get back to things.
Justin, what'd you do this week?
Edited ATV, which is probably the most fun I've had editing the show. I was literally laughing out loud the entire time. You can have Hennessy, tell you about that because he was constantly like, "Why is this kid always laughing out loud?" What else did I do? Revamped the new show that we're going to be. Well, it's not new, I guess. It's the 4th episode of Witch Glitch. So revamped that. So I'm excited for people to see that next week. What else? And then editing 10 for the Chairman today, and a few other things. So it's
Cool.
been a good week, and I'm getting better. I'm not sick anymore.
Yeah, we did temper Chairman. It's always my goal when we do that is to completely sneak up on Chris when he's doing something. Then he just looks up and sees me.
Yeah.
And he goes right into it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
people think it's an act, but he doesn't notice us setting up the cameras and the lights and all that stuff. It really is, and we just put the questions in front of him without him noticing. He really is surprised at the beginning of every
Looks up and
episode.
he's like, "Oh, hey, I guess we'll do this."
He starts.
Alyssa, marketing friend.
Hey, not a whole lot of marketing stuff going on in my life right now.
You've been killing it on those tickets.
Yeah, just answering as many tickets as humanly possible. I've learned a lot about our game and structure and things that I hadn't been paying attention to previously while answering tickets. And giant thank you to Alexis for answering all of my really dumb questions. On top of that, I've been helping the production guys with fixing Jira and Shotgun to make it easier to use going forward. And what else?
Justin is too happy.
Just helping out Sean Carew in the UK office with some of the CitizenCon setup stuff and keeping an eye on the awesome poster that we have and going through iterations of that. And yeah.
And as somebody pointed out, I always ask everybody what they did for the week, and I never talk about what I did for the week. I didn't do anything.
Well, that's why you don't.
You saw on RTV this week, I filled in for James with our interview with Benoit. He was out sick with that same plague that finally worked its way through everybody. So it finally got to James. So he wasn't here, and we edited the interview. So that was me. Just a lot of work. I do those Instagram trading cards. If you're following our Instagram account, and if you're not, you should.
Aren't you?
You did do something
You should.
this week.
And I do those Instagram cards every single day. So
You did something else this week.
what did I do this week?
You reduced the size of your head.
Oh,
Well, it depends.
yeah. After filming the Benoit interview, we noticed, and you'll see it more on Meet the Devs on Tuesday. My head kept crouching farther and farther into the frame. I have a large,
Did you watch the
large
episode, by the
head.
way?
No, I'm too afraid to. But the beard was giving me perhaps too much power. It was a danger to those around me.
It was.
So for the safety of everyone that I work with, I did trim it quite a bit.
It was becoming sentient and starting.
It was controlling my
control
actions.
him.
It's just 3 birds living in it.
It's weird.
And ATV. I got that was the first hosting segment I got to write and direct. So that was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun that 8 o'clock at night watching Ben and Sandy just start with my script and then make it their own. So they killed it. It was a lot of fun.
We don't have a lot
Doing
of
it.
respect for the written word.
No, they don't. I understood why writers drink. So it's. But no, it's they did great. It was a lot of fun, and I did something else, but I can't. Community Hub and Issue Council. That's been a big focus of my week for the last week. As we started to say before, the Community Hub will be going live to everybody later today. It's been live to about 2,000 folks since Tuesday. So when we say, hey, it's live, I mean, that's what we meant. It's live just to a select few. It's not on a PTU environment or what we call QA stage. It is in live production. But we are badging everybody else in the community, so you'll get access to that. It's very iterative. It's still the first version. There's a laundry list of new functionality that we want to have coming out in Hub 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.3. So when you go to it and you're like, hey, this is kind of weird and this is weird, this is the first iteration of it. You're seeing that early, just like you see everything else we do very early. Issue Council will be rolling out to everybody towards the beginning of next week, we're thinking. We're doing up an instructional video about good posting on the Issue Council, because in order for it to be successful and useful to our QA team, posts do need to be formatted in a way that is helpful to them. And folks may need to realize that it's not a feature request council, and it is not I don't want to send a CS ticket council. So that will come out next week with some minor changes that are pending. So yeah, that's what I did this week, and that's pretty much everybody here at the crew right now. So it is 11:16. We're right on time. About a fourth of the way through, we'll start taking or citizen questions rather. I was in this. I was like, I don't know. I was doing.
I didn't swear in the first 5 minutes.
You did not swear in the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
That's
better than we're already ahead of the curve.
It's sad that that's an accomplishment.
Yeah. I also didn't get into a car accident while wearing this dress today.
Yeah.
So this dress is not
Okay.
cursed. That's good.
that what happened last
car
time?
accident
Yeah.
dress? When,
This is
why
the
would
first.
Alyssa be wearing lipstick?
Why
What
is
was
this
the
wearing
law?
lipstick? That's not her.
All right. First question. Any news on new hanger flare? Yes. That hanger flare will be going out later today. It is a Alexis would know for certain, but I believe it's Vandal related.
No, we grab her.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. I think it's the ship. Honestly, I don't know. I've got this list of flare in my head, and I don't know which one is next. So strike the Vandal comment. I'm not sure that that's what's next. But when we get Alexis in here, we'll answer that question for you. I thought I had the answer. I do not.
Not off to a good start.
It's the next Puglisi, I think.
Yes, it's a Puglisi thing. I just can't remember which one it is in line.
By the way, I apologize for picking up my phone. That was Sandy trying to call. I text. Oh, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Alexis is right in the middle of answering
Okay.
tickets, so
Okay.
we will leave her
Yes.
to that.
But anyway, the hanger flare is going out today. It's another one in the Puglisi series. So it'll be a rock or a scrap of metal or a fragment of some ship or something. It'll be something along those lines.
I might.
I'm not answering questions about the shampoo we use. Looking through the questions. Nothing new on the freelancer rework. It's still in progress. It's not at a point where we're ready to share much about it. Hey, welcome, Matt Sherman.
I see a giant glow on my forehead in the screen.
Well, your forehead's pretty.
What is the next design doc that's going to be published?
Next design doc will probably relate to science for when we got the Endeavor.
Yes.
Although I've seen there's a doc in the works from the folks upstairs about the modularity update, so that might make it out first too.
Yes. And an important reminder about the artwork that you saw for the Endeavor that we showed at Dragon Con and that we put out in the subscriber archive and then that we showed on around the verse. That's iterative development. None of those are the final concept art. That's all stuff. As you saw, there were some tremendous differences between some of them. Those are some explorations we've done. They do not represent the final concept art. That you'll see that when it's ready.
Yeah, the one with the ring around it is the latest, but you'll see.
Yeah, but it had rings in earlier iterations too. So we try something else, we go back.
Well, rings are cool.
Rings are very cool. I like rings. I had a joke about if you like rings, you should put a ring on it, but it didn't work in my head.
No,
It didn't work when I said it out loud either.
No. Really brought down the mood here.
Is Ben? Let's see.
Is what?
Yeah, it was one of those questions that I thought was appropriate to read, and then I started to read it, and it was not appropriate to read.
Hold on, whisper to me. Oh, I'm wearing lipstick.
Not compared to her.
What?
No, not compared to her.
She's wearing lipstick.
No, I'm not.
But did I maybe kiss my
Hold
wife or
up like
something? And
this.
it made
No,
my lips
look
pink?
hard. It's just a color saturation.
Oh, we're just out of color. Okay.
I have the saturation up perhaps too high.
I don't know, but people are saying my lipstick matches my hair. So it is
So.
definitely saturated. 'Cause my hair is pink.
That's right.
And
See?
my lipstick is red.
Now you've de-risked. Oh yeah, the color intensity is too high. How about that?
Lipstick is awesome today.
Try to bring out my rosy cheeks.
Perfect.
See, look at
Taylor
that.
Swift's.
There we go. The color saturation isn't so bad.
Yeah.
See what a silly question can do?
Derail everything.
Yep. Will the Ben dance? We've gotten this question quite a bit. Will the Ben dance eventually make it into the game?
I don't want to do motion capture, but if someone can, I don't think it's possible that someone could imitate my amazing dance moves. So probably,
Challenge
Yeah,
accepted.
is this a challenge? Are we gonna try and do the Ben dance?
We should do a dance
Ben
off.
dance off, yeah.
Right now?
Dance off right now.
Yeah, let me see your best Ben dances, everyone.
Wait, first, can somebody bring up the Ben
Oh no,
dance? For
I've
us?
seen it. I'm just not.
Oh no, we're not bringing it up now.
Come on.
Let's see. Does the Mustang Delta go on? Will the Mustang Delta ever go on sale again?
Yes, for limited sales.
Will we get the Pioneer design document, which is what we call we renamed
Explorer,
Explorer into Pioneer?
You will. I can't say when, but it will happen.
On ATV, correction from the question, we showed images of hairstyles in our sneak peek in yesterday's ATV. Will female character models have longer hair, and if so, how long? There'll be a number of options. I can't tell you how long. That's all still in development. But those were just we have a section of artwork in our shotgun called Terra White Collar. So all of the clothing options you've seen on ATV in the last several weeks, including those hair options, are part of the Terra White Collar series. So that's just one series from one fashion designer on one planet. It's not indicative of the broad range of options that will be in the finished game. Mm-hmm. Just one thing. Just like with the Avenger thing on ship shape. Those just one set of options for the Avenger modularity.
There's a question.
Not the only.
Says, will we see any work done on the Reclaimer this year? I think the answer to that is no. I believe the Reclaimer is slated for next year. Correct, Ben?
I have not seen the latest schedule. I know they're moving stuff around. I would not. I would expect to see us do the combat multi-crew ships before the role specific ones. But I don't want to give a timeline. I don't know if that's December or January, February. We're getting close to the end of the year, so it becomes increasingly difficult to say which year.
Will you include YouTube gaming on the community hub? Yes, that's one of those things that's slated for 1.1. So when we finished up the very first iteration of Community Hub, that was the same day they launched YouTube Gaming, and Turbulent and I was like, so it will be in the next. It should be in the next iteration, which we don't have a timetable for yet.
All right, my friends, I'm gonna go answer some tickets.
Okay.
Peace out, bro.
See ya. If you saw the interview with Benoit, Turbulent has their hands on a lot of Star Citizen plots.
A lot more
So-
than they expected, I think, when they
Yeah.
took this job way back when.
Yes, they are truly a partner in Star Citizen. We love Turbulent. Hi, Turbulent. They don't watch this show, though.
Don't watch this show.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Would you know anything about DirectX 12 support?
Nope.
No.
That is much more, I'd say, probably on like the Frankfurt guys, since they're doing a lot of the heavy work on the engine. But Yeah, that's all programming and design.
Yeah.
Far
Wait.
beyond my realm of comprehension.
I see that question.
Great.
I see that question every week, and we normally don't answer it because we're not the ones who possess those kind of answers. So I figured we'd just do it once, and finally tell people we don't have that answer. And if you do happen to ask a question over and over, and we don't pick the question, it's not because we don't like you or anything. It's because we're the community team. We have answers to certain things. Some things we don't have answers to.
Also, we hate you.
Also, yeah. Matt, where did you get that cool Venture Brothers Breaking Bad shirt that you used on the interview?
tfury.com. Pretty much every crazy shirt you've seen me wear, I got from that website. I think even right now, we got a different one on. But yeah, that's where I get my shirts.
Question. Do you have an answer to this question? No.
No, we could never answer that question.
Will there be a finger guns emote?
Hopefully, yes.
There was a FPS report we did 2 or 3 weeks ago that had the different characters in different poses, and stuff. And I'm pretty sure one of those was a finger gun. I could be wrong though. Probably am. Generally, questions about timelines and when things will happen? No, guys. But do we want to say anything about the Endeavor sale?
We'll answer your question about science fiction timelines.
Oh, we definitely talk about science fiction.
We can't give you a date for the Endeavor, mostly because our sales schedule is based on when it's done rather than when we would like to have money.
Yes.
So if it were done this week, it would be on sale. It's not done this week. I don't see it next week either. After that, it's anybody's guess.
Yes. Despite some accusations, wow, I didn't realize I couldn't say that word. Despite some accusations to the contrary, the tail does not wag the dog. Here, we send something out to you guys when production and whatnot says it's ready. So,
But for these concept ships, especially for these new role ones, it's important to have design buy-in. It's important to have a lot of our questions answered going into it. How it works. So yeah.
Also, I mean, some of these bigger ships are also being impacted by a lot of this component work that's getting prepped for. So that's also changing up, like, how many of what components are going into these ships, when before it was like, oh, that's just going to be a 1 size 9 of this, and now what does that 1 size 9 turn into in terms of multiple larges, single capital class? So lots of fun questions to answer.
Yeah, in fact, just yesterday at our art review meeting, Chris was like, get Matt Sherman on this immediately.
Yeah.
And you said Matt Sherman and Calyx, and then Calyx wasn't here, so you probably didn't do it all yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, actually all those specs are updated, so it's now even lined up for the new component size classes, so it'll be really good when we get that,
Okay.
all ready for you guys.
Does the freelancer rework include modules for it, or is it staying strictly with the variant system?
No, it's the same variants as before.
Just making it better.
Yeah, not every ship is going to have is going to be the Retaliator. So.
Yep. Oh, it's important. It's just like in the real world, like you've been saying for a while. Some manufacturers utilized a variant system, and some manufacturers made their ships more modular. It has to do with the individual project. They're not all manufactured using the same process.
And they're definitely not mutually exclusive, because we can have very distinct variant hulls that still have modules that are interchangeable against a whole series, which also then can create a lot more different loadout and gameplay opportunities for just how do you want to set up your ship.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see additional Retaliator hulls. Personally, I see the current Retaliator as this is the B-17G, the one with the nose turret and all the more modern stuff. But there's probably an F out there and a D that have different hard points and a little different shape to them. And you still swap in the modules in them.
For all Avenger questions, guys, we shared the breadth of information we're ready to share about the Avenger in yesterday's ATV. So,
Well, who's your favorite Avenger?
I always like Star Fox. Star Fox was the worst Avenger of all time. And people are like, that's a Nintendo game. No, there was an Avenger named Star Fox, and it's actually a fairly interesting character, but terrible, just terrible.
There have been a lot of terrible superheroes.
But
An alarming number of terrible.
But specifically, even terrible Avengers, though.
Yeah.
The 80s and 90s weren't good to the Avengers.
And this last year wasn't good for the Avengers either, was it?
Next social module zone to be released. I think the work is mostly on expanding Area 18 right now, right?
Well, next is the...
Yeah, the next landing zone, yeah. Which is why we previewed it in that very cool video. By the way, if you haven't seen the next landing zone preview video, see the next landing zone preview video.
Yes, it's much more interesting than anything we're going to tell you in this hour.
It's definitely prettier. Google's the non-Nintendo Star Fox. Will there be a limited ship sale soon? As in, like, a sale where the actual number of ships are limited?
No.
Like we did with the Phoenix?
Not one
number?
like that, but we will have the Endeavor sometime, and the Crucible after that.
And then eventually the Prowler.
Eventually the Prowler, yes. We've also got the Reliant variants coming.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Hubbins is reworking some of those right
Dave
now.
Hobbins.
Yeah, Reliant's gonna be really fun to get in you guys' hands. So.
Dave Hobbins. Guys, you see that Lego Reliant that's on the forums right now?
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
cool.
cool.
Captain Aiden Thor, man. It's the real deal. When does Kasaba Outlet open? I just saw some work. They're working on it right now. It'll be in an upcoming iteration.
It's the Fuddruckers of Area 18.
Yeah.
You have piqued my interest.
You can't say the word Fuddruckers without getting Hennessy's attention.
No,
There's
there's
a better than average burger there.
Yeah. Nick's is very Moon 44. Aliens is Hadley's Hope. Look, I love Nick's. The first version of that video showed up in our hands a couple months ago, and it was just. I've been really excited to get that out to you guys. I was very pleased when Tony said, "Yeah, let's show them." I was like, "What is the Prowler?"
Prowler is the boarding ship, the Devarin-derived boarding ship. So it's taking some additional time because we want to do some work on what the hell is a Devarin. But
Answer before we know what their ships are.
Yes. For those of you who may not have been around back then, when we were doing stretch goals, some of the all the Wave 4 ships were voted on by the citizens. We put up a list of possible concepts, and the citizens voted on them. And the Prowler was one of the very last player-voted ships that we had. So it's made by Asperia, who is the manufacturer of the human version of the Glaive that was on sale recently, and they are producing the Prowler, and it's like you said, it's a boarding ship.
I just want to talk to Will and Dave about Asperia just being like the most shady reverse.
did we
engineers.
ever get Allie to see what the
Nope.
the Puglisi collection was?
No, we have not heard from Allie.
Allie!
Allie! What's the flare today?
I just sent Ben an email with it.
Oh, okay, hold on.
For those of you who have never seen Reverse the Verse, this is the Cloud Imperium Games community team's weekly informal live stream chat with the fans.
It's the Puglisi collection. It's like a tablet fragment with alien writing on it.
The Puglisi collection is proud to announce the third in their line of artifacts, the Vasily Fragment Stone. The quasi-ruins on Terra have been shrouded in mystery for centuries. That is, until 2832, when an expedition made a bold discovery. A fragment of stone found buried deep within Zapre Bay. Named after the discoverer, the stone was inscribed with what many believe is a remnant of the ancient civilization's language, holding its secrets. The Puglisi collection created a perfect replica of this tremendously important artifact for citizens to enjoy. So you're getting a rock.
All right. Every week we get this question, see if there's any update. Ben, any plans on bringing in other TNGS ships to the game?
Desire, yes. Plans, no.
Matt, will the power pipes be enabled soon in Arena Commander?
Not sure when. It's definitely something that we're working on getting worked out a bit more, because like we need the power, heat, distortion, data pipes. We need to get all those up and running how we want them as part of the component and physically based damage system changes. So hopefully in the near future, but I can't give an exact timeline just yet. But that's going to actually be one of those, first step that's for the electronic warfare, especially when we get distortion working how we want it, where you're using those sucker punches to take out a ship and stop them dead in the water. So once we get that going, it should be really cool.
And for those asking where to send your suggestions for the hacking, folks have already started using the feedback thread for ATV, since that's where the segment was.
Yeah.
So you can continue doing that.
There's that one. Some other guys on the general thread also started up a post that's been getting a bit of traction. I've got bookmarks. So definitely seeing a lot of the suggestions you guys have put out. There's actually one really cool game that someone messaged me last week or yesterday that I really want to check out, but I don't speak French, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to overcome that.
I speak French. I can help you with that if you want.
Okay, then.
Omelette
I'll
du
have
fromage.
Help me work through
Means
this
cheese omelet.
one game to try it out. So, yeah, definitely appreciate the different thoughts you guys have, and it's good to get an idea on like what kind of activities you guys think would be fun while still being faithful to electronic warfare type activities.
Not Bioshock.
Not Bioshock. We get questions about that Dragonfly every week. Remember when I was talking about how the folks voted on the Wave 4 ships? The Dragonfly was one of the ships that did not win the vote. It actually lost out to the Reliant. So it's one of those things we'd like to put in the game at some point eventually, but it's backburnered.
No details yet.
There's no details on
We've
it.
got a bunch of previous ships we want to finish first.
The ones that were actually chosen by you, the fans. Gotta make those ships first.
Well, even ones that we sold a while ago, I know, and without giving out any details because he's still ironing everything out, I know the Caterpillar is getting some much needed love that people have been asking for a few months now, so we'll have some cool stuff for that, hopefully in the future as well.
Yes, and I'm aware it's not omelette du fromage. I was quoting an old Steve Martin gag from the 70s where he called it that incorrectly. So I call it that incorrectly.
Referencing Steve Martin is Lando's special purpose.
All right. You want one way to my heart, it's the jerk. How will...
No. No, let's forget about this.
The new phone book is here. This is actually a loaded question. I don't know that we're ready to give the answer to it yet. How will Rec work in AC 2.0?
I would watch Time for the Chairman on Monday because we have a question about AC 2.0. The short answer, and the short not an as accurate answer, is that there's going to be a difference between the multi-crew test universe and AC 2.0. And you'll be learning about that real soon now.
10 for the Chairman on Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Hates these cans.
He hates these cans! Get away from the cans!
We're just going to quote the jerk for the rest of the hour.
Disco Lando, would you like to buy a hamburger? Oh wow, I see you're doing the Pink Panther. As much as I love Steve Martin, Pink Panther is
Movie.
yeah, it's definitely a movie. It's not Steve Martin. It's why can't I remember? It's Peter Sellers. Jeez, why can't I remember Peter
One of
Sellers?
the first Bonds.
Yes, Casino Royale, the original Casino Royale.
Woody Allen.
Yes, also is James Bond, and David Niven also is James Bond. How many people know the original Casino Royale? I'll give you a bump for that. I'm picking out a thermos for you. Why isn't 10 for the Chairman ever live on Twitch? It's because we filmed. Chris is a very, 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 very busy man, and we filmed 10 for the Chairman around his schedule, not the other way around.
There's a lot of evenings and weekends involved in catching Chris at an hour out of time.
Yes.
It's also an edited show. It's like the old Simpsons joke. Very, very little animation is done live. It would be a terrible strain on the animator's hands. There's multiple cuts and different takes and all that.
Any news about the CCU system and manual unmelting? No news that we haven't already said. The CCU system is fast-tracked. Front end works. Felix with Turbulent is working on the back end. It's probably not a name that will mean anything to you, as I realize I said it out loud. But it's almost there. We're just carrying it across the finish line.
Well, whereas manual unmelting is
Not as
a
close.
germ of an idea right now. Basically, we looked at our tickets. There were 600 or 700 people writing in because they melted some package during the Gamescom sale to get another one, and we just were not able to help all of them right now. So basically, we went to them and said, "Hey, can you look into how to do this? Let us know." We're waiting to find out what it will take. A lot of times, people look at this and say, "Oh, why don't you just have this? Just have this, just have this?" And I go, "Okay, but that's 600 hours of database work, and it may break the game economy." So there's a lot of stuff to look into before we can even know whether or not we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But we'd like to, because it would make life a lot easier for UK Ali and Michael and the other one, Patrick, Henry,
Michael, and now we have Amanda.
Amanda. Yes.
Yes, we added somebody new to the CS team. So if you're sending tickets and you see the strange Amanda person, she's new. Say hi. How do you get between ArcCorp and Nix in social module before we can fly between them in multicrew? That's easy. There won't be Nix before multicrew.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
But as for the actual system, it will probably be some sort of magic game thing until we actually build the university.
Yeah, it's sort of like how you get in the elevator in your asteroid hangar, and that elevator takes you up to ArcCorp.
Actually, yes, it was much more appropriate for the elevator to take you to Nix from the asteroid hangar, but just assume it's like a Wonka Vader for a while.
Wonka Vader. Good reference.
You demeaned it by pointing it out.
I saw a few questions already that I'll chime in on. Someone was asking about the Redeemer. I know that the UK is working on that. Again, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know that they're making progress on it. Someone was asking a question that I couldn't quite parcel away about why does SIG consider a turret to be a multi-crew station? And I don't want to speak too much for the designers, but the idea behind the stations is that not all of them are full-time stations. Some of them are, you need someone there, flying the ship at all times, obviously, like a pilot on a plane, but there are a lot of stations that you don't need someone there
100% of the time.
100% of the time. Like, for example, like if you take a look my brain just died, and I can't think of a ship like this, but like if you have a really tiny ship, and you can only hold 2 people, and 2 people can fly it, then, no one can ever take a break and go eat food or sleep,
Well,
so,
even actually
yeah.
just the Vanguard that we've sold is probably a good example because there's going to be things that you can be doing inside of the pod for each of the ships, but all 3 models are 2-person ships, so you're going to be looking at that guy in the turret, like also having to do double duty of changing between being in the turret, being in the pod, to really maximize the full functionality of that ship. That's also what gives a lot more interesting aspects to gameplay in the long run. Isn't so much that, you get to do everything from everywhere, it's having those restrictions, limitations, and constraints to make those choices be more impactful and not just glad-handed almost.
And by the way, people saying it was mean to call Amanda strange, there are multiple definitions of words, people, and strange can also mean previously unseen, which is how I was
he was
using
looking
it.
it up on the internet.
Yes,
a minute
just to verify that
I did
I
that
wasn't
too.
completely out
I
of
did
my
that
mind.
too.
Yes, when I said the strange new person, it was meant previously unseen, folks. Don't jump to the worst possible definition of a word.
You are completely out of your mind, though. That's another topic.
Jeez.
Someone was asking about whether we'll still see ships hangar ready. Definitely. Most ships will go through a hangar ready stage before you see them flight ready. Exceptions might be, for certain events, if we really want to surprise you guys, or if we have a bunch of stuff, ready at once for a different module, and we're just like, oh, well, let's bring it over here. So there will be exceptions, but the majority of ships you will see hangar ready first and then flight ready. For us on our side, getting something to hangar ready is exponentially more time and work than taking it from hangar ready to flyable. So that's why sometimes you'll see things just come out as flyable because we'll say, we'll just wait a little bit longer and get the whole thing out. But most of the time you'll see that breakdown still.
Yeah, like the Merlin, the amount of work to just get that hangar ready was about a half day less than what it took to get it flight ready, so that one rolled right in. But then, especially into the multi-crew ships, we'll probably have to start seeing those in the hangar for just how complex some of the biggest ships are going to really be.
That reminds me of another thing we did our weekend review, and we missed one item, which was that we had the kickoff meeting for the Archimedes.
Yes.
Gurmaki is going to be taken now into the finish line, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, he's going to be, and he just finished up the Vanguard,
Big
so
heart to
he's
Gurmaki.
really good. He's working right now on, he's actually helping with some renders for the new office space, helping with some of the layout stuff and planning for that, so that's pretty cool. Whenever he's done with that, which should be within the next week and a half, he'll be starting on the Archimedes.
It's come up a couple times with the size changes to the Idris. Is it still capable of landing?
Let's wait to see it before we say.
At least once.
Yeah.
I wish it could land once.
It's still a question we're going to answer.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Actually, this is pretty cool. We had Jim Martin swing by the office the other day for a meeting. We were talking about some upcoming stuff for him, and we'd all interacted with him a lot before, but a lot of us had not met him face to face. He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, we did a whole segment on Jim Martin earlier.
Oh, nice.
Did you know that he designed the tattoo on Ben's arm?
I told her.
He did tell me that. I didn't know it before he came in. That's pretty amazing.
But we didn't know it before he came
either.
in. We learned it
Oh, you
there.
figured out one? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
through conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because he was like, I work on Star Troopers. And I was like, I love Star Troopers. I got the tattoo. And he's like, I designed that. So,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and he this morning he emailed you an alternate version of it.
yes.
that was not
So
used.
We went and scanned the alternate version of it. It was
That would
really
be
cool.
awesome.
Very nice guy.
Jim Martin,
We like
Dave
you.
Hobbins, Ryan Church, Gurmach, Basine. We got some great concept artists.
Don't leave George Hall out.
Oh.
He's here to too. And of
Sorry,
course, the
George
guys
Hall.
in the UK, Gavin.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
They're in the UK. They're in the UK. They're asleep right now.
Let's see. I don't have any news on the Carrack. I saw someone asking about that. Sorry. Let me see. Overall size of the Reliant changed at all? It's a good question. I don't
No.
think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think
still
they
around the same size.
did a little dimension tweaking on the inside just to make sure it fit with our cargo dimensions, but the size of the ship itself hasn't changed.
Yeah, the main changes I think we're seeing right now, some of it was just a bit of visibility and pilot movement cleanup around the cockpit and making sure that's transitioned from vertical into the horizontal flight mode. Wasn't going to cause any clipping, and that we'd have all the right screens and panels that we need so that you have your full HUD. But it's still about the same size as when we first sold it.
There's a question, is the 890 jump designed to land in water? It's not designed to land in water, whether it can or not, I don't know.
At least once.
Crashing isn't landing, it's just coming to a sudden stop.
We covered this early in the show, but for anybody who's just joining us, because I'm seeing the questions pop up again, the Community Hub is live to about 2,000 people right now. It is planned to roll live to the entire community later today. We're just working on a couple hot button issues. We had 3 blockers, and they told me those 3 blockers can be resolved today. So if they're resolved, that should go out to everybody today. The Community Hub, our plan is to roll that out to everybody else next week.
Yeah, the issue council.
The issue council. We're planning on rolling that out to everyone next week. Talking with the QA team and production, I'm going to be making kind of an instructional video for it so that we can use it to its fullest potential. So, yeah, next week, issue council. Today, Community Hub.
By the way, after this, will you help us put together a post about the community hub for the front page?
Yes.
All right.
I'm seeing a few more questions. People are asking about the Xi'an Scout. So we actually have Chris and Josh who've been working on the constellation. They're still working on that right now. They're finishing some stuff up. So art for that ship will start probably before the end of the month, around the beginning of next month. But they still have some stuff to do. So I'm sort of doing my rounds right now and making sure that design and everything is ready for them to start. I saw another question on the Starfarer, and this is actually a good question I kind of want to ask you guys. So I know that the UK is working on that actively, and I talked about it a little bit probably a few months ago on Ship Shape, and I was trying to take a look and prioritize other ships that I hadn't covered at all. But if you guys want me to reach out and see if there's more information on it, anything worth sharing, maybe try to do it coming up. If you guys are interested in that, let me know and I'll see.
The answer to that question will always be yes. That's the silliest possible
It is a
question.
silly
Do you want to
question.
know information about spaceships?
I should have phrased it like, versus, what about compared to these other ships? Which
They
I
just
don't
want
have
them
this
all.
in front
The answer
of
is
me.
yes. Give
Well,
us all.
I can't- Okay.
That's what the answer will be, though. These people want their
Yeah,
spaceships.
that was a stupid
They want
question.
their spaceships.
That was a stupid question.
See? Yes,
no,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right, I'll reach out. I know they've been working on it. I don't know if the progress they made is interesting enough to do a little episode on, but if it is, then I'll try to do it in the next few weeks. I have some cool stuff planned though. I'm trying to do something on the Caterpillar in the next few weeks. I've been talking to Randy, who's doing some design work on that, layout stuff. If you remember the episode I did on the Starliner, which showed sort of cutaways and layouts of that ship, Randy is doing something similar for some parts of the Caterpillar right now. So I let him know in a few weeks I might be hitting him up.
Matt Sherman,
Yes.
will people be able to spoof their radar signatures to look like a different ship at long distances?
So it's definitely one of the things that we're exploring. Actual gameplay of it would still be something we'd have to sort out, but it's definitely on the list of things that we want to look at for, especially the communication and scanner aspects of electronic warfare, where it's something you're able to do without having to, spike a target. So. And actually, the question I see, because it's popped a few times on the Vanguard, inside of the bigger nacelle bays, that's where a lot of its core components are going to go. So one thing you guys didn't see in those cutaways, because that's really the walkable core space of the ship, and you didn't see where its power plants are, where its shield generators are, where its coolers are. So those components all have a place. None of that empty space as it looked like in the cutaways was actually empty. There's going to be things placed into all those compartments. So just because it wasn't filled to the brim in the concept art doesn't mean it won't have place or purpose.
I did it before. It's nice to stand when you're
Any
sitting
updates
over
on the
there.
HOTAS?
Yeah.
No updates right now, just that there will be an update soon. So.
Never sit on chairs. I let you kneel on it.
Yeah, that's a long process. It's at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So,
I won't fall out of it.
yep. Most products like that, you never know they exist this early. So it'll be quite a while.
What is Lisa drinking? Coffee. It is not a Starbucks cup. I make my own coffee with an AeroPress before I come in because it's better than Starbucks and also cheaper. I'll show you this. Look, my mug says, "Today I will be happier than a bird with a French fry."
And who's the guy in the back? My name's Justin.
Yeah, Justin's awesome.
Is that Justin? He edits all of our videos now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So.
I apologize to him on a regular basis for how many outtakes I have for Ship Shape.
And I love her on a daily basis for the effort she puts in.
It's very
Do-
tactful. He's also very tactful.
Do passengers on a ship count towards the max crew limit?
Max crew is one of those terms that we used in the very early pitch document for how ship specs work, and people just kind of gravitate towards it still. I would just ignore that number on every ship forever if I were you.
Yeah. Right now, it's looking more like if we, or when we get some cleanup on those kinds of numbers, we'd actually be more listing, hey, this is the max number of interactive stations that a ship would have. And then the number of people that could physically survive on that ship will actually be more determined by your life support. So don't expect to just cram 50 guys into your constellation and not quickly suffocate.
Star Citizen, don't expect to not suffocate.
Put it on the box. Yes, thank you for commenting how well the picture looks. I was just talking to Ben before that.
Oh,
I
yes, made
spent
some-
half an hour before the show today getting the picture to look good.
One day.
Oh, someone was asking if there's any info on the 300 series. So I don't believe we have someone slated to like work on them full time coming up. But I did hear something this morning about how they got we want to do some cleanup on it coming up. So there won't be major rework or anything like that. But I know we have some bugs floating around that we want to try to prioritize in the next like week or two. So if there's enough and it's big enough, maybe I can do something about like fixing bugs if they're interesting. So then I can have Bug Smasher join me. Have a joint episode. Oh my god. Oh, I might do that. That's a good idea. Ship smashers.
Hennessy, is he there?
No.
No? Okay.
He's off in his own little fantasy world.
Well, I need Hennessy to answer that question, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Disco, your beard has many colors. Yeah, I know. Trimmed it down, though.
People asking about retaliator module concepts coming soon. That is something I might also cover in the next week or two of ship shape, so stay tuned. I've been talking to the UK about putting something together. So yes, keep listening.
Any info on the purpose of that political survey that's on the site right now?
That is, it's entirely lore. Just bringing you into the Star Citizen world.
Yep. Talking with the writers, they do have a purpose to it. I don't know what that purpose is. But I don't want to say anything. I just heard them talking 2 days ago about what they were doing and what they were going to do with it, just not hearing enough to actually retain the details. So there is a plan, whatever that plan is. It's a writer thing.
Yeah.
So if you see a 10 for the writers thread on the forums, maybe throw that question in there. All right, we got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Someone's asking any updates on capital ships. That's a very vague question, but I do kind of want to cover eventually when we have them a little more further along, a little more shown, an episode on like, what makes a capital ship and stuff. So that's too vague of a question to answer.
Yeah. For Justin, are we going to have any more ship commercials in the future? Justin has absolutely nothing to do with the ship commercials.
That's actually a question for those guys in front.
Yeah. No, he edits our community shows that we do here in the studio.
So the answer is that yes, there will be more ship commercials. Retaliator will be the next one. We did our first set of ship commercials essentially to help train up our cinematics guys before we started getting mocap, PCAP data, and so on for Squadron 42. Now that we've done the shoot, we have all that. Cinematics is, working 26 hours a day to make Squadron 42 awesome. Once that winds down, we will get resources back to do ship commercials. But for now, advertising is blocked by the real game.
Yeah. Will there be an actual pocket carrier sold? Why? You guys enjoyed theory crafting, turning every shipper we create into a pocket carrier. We're talking about the Endeavor, and people are already talking about converting the Endeavor into a pocket carrier.
It does have a pod bay.
Yes, but it's every ship in the game people want to convert into a pocket carrier. I don't understand it.
And anything that we'd let you do that on, you're not going to be coming out ahead on that. You're not going to be having a bunch of guns, and be a pocket carrier. Guess how much you have to lose, how much you're going to sacrifice to try and do this less effectively than a role-dedicated ship would be doing that.
So are we going to release an actual pocket carrier?
Well, what is an actual pocket carrier anyway? Isn't that like a real bootleg?
No, it's one of those Hot Wheels car boxes that you have the little like car launcher in it and it auto sorts them.
Oh, those are rad. And then you go, and you hit the release button. And go,
Awesome.
oh, now I want that.
Someone was asking about Drake Herald variants. No, don't have any information on them. We're still working on the Drake Herald itself. It's coming along, but it's
Yeah.
not done.
Yeah, we do the original ship before we do the variants, guys.
Yeah.
Same with modules. We can't determine what modules every ship will get until we sort of know what the base ship does.
It's a horse before the cart kind of thing. And with that, we bring Reverse the Verse to a close. Guys,
You know,
thanks.
I've always worried about that expression. Aren't you supposed to put your horse before your cart?
That's my point.
Yeah,
You're supposed to put the heart before the
Oh,
horse.
okay.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put the. You're supposed to put the horse before the cart. You're not supposed to put the cart before the
The
horse.
one that kills me is when people say I could care less. No, I couldn't care less.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're saying I could care less. That means I
Wait,
care.
say that again? It's.
I couldn't care less.
Bye, everybody.
Oh my god.
Who's our
Did I
featured
spoil
streamer?
mine?
We don't know.
You did-
I don't have one this week.
We don't have a featured streamer. If you would like to be the featured streamer, please write in on the forums.
Contact James Pugh.
Yes, tell him, hey James,
I have a hard time.
you dummy who forgot to have a featured streamer this week, make me the featured streamer. And then that will happen. Hopefully.
And once again, this is Reverse the Verse for September 11, 2015. I am your community manager, Jared Huckabee. That's your director of community engagement, online strategy, spaceships, and finger guns, Mr. Ben Lesnick. Wishing you a happy day.
Merry Christmas.
Happy day.
Merry
Bye, guys. Let's just push the button here.
Happy Friday.